Comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer. And fans, it's that time of the year again. That's right, guys. It's time for Road to Comic Book of the Year. Now, if you guys are not familiar with this video series, this is the series that I do every year at the end of the year, where I take my #1 comic books from my countdown videos, the #1 issues, and I put them into groupings, and I have you, the fans, vote on which book you think is nominated for Comic of the Year based off of my #1 books. Now, if your book doesn't get it in each grouping, don't worry. However, there is a wild card round, so there is hope for your book to still make it into the nominations for Comic Book of the Year. So, like I said, I'm going to present to you each group each week. Make sure you vote for your favorite comic, and then the following week I will give you the results and then bring on a new grouping. So now that all the rules are out of the way and you guys understand what's going on, here we go for 2015 Road to Comic Book of the Year. Alright, for group #1 is a book that came out probably the second week of the year, and that book is, let me just get it real quick, is Green Lantern issue number 38. This is the book. This was one of the last real grounded books for Green Lantern that Robert Venditti actually has. If you read this actual issue, he really interacted very well with Carol Ferris in here. The artwork was absolutely gorgeous in here, and this was a great book for the second week of the year, and I really enjoyed it. And this was probably still to date my favorite Green Lantern book of the year. And really enjoyed this particular book. So if you guys want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. And again, leave your comments below in the comment section. Alright, the next book that we're going to be talking about in group #1 is The Walking Dead issue number 143. That's right, guys. If you want to see this book get nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. This was the book where we had the group kind of come to terms with the Whisperers. If you read The Walking Dead, and we find out that the leader of the Whisperers, Alpha, gives Rick an ultimatum to either leave him be, or if you continue to push, we're gonna throw a whole shitload of zombies in your face. And that was left with the cool ass cliffhanger at the end of that issue. So there it is. So if you guys again want to see that book get nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. Again, these are just for nominations. Alright. Next is another book that was really good, and I think people needed a break for Dan Slott at that particular time when we got to see an iconic Spider-Man writer write a story, and that was The Amazing Spider-Man 16.1. This had to deal with Spider-Man dealing with the, I guess, the villains of the underground villains where it comes to Tombstone, and it deals with all those characters like that. This was a good introduction story to it. In the first part of it had to deal with Wrath and everything like that, and it was a whole setup on really Wrath's character and where she is right now. So I remember reading this issue. I loved seeing the artwork in this book. It was a really awesome book. So again, guys, if you want to see this get nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. Alright. Next book on our group this week goes to Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde. Now, a lot of our Marvel comics this year were based off of Secret Wars, and Secret Wars is still going on right now. So, if you remember correctly, this is when Star-Lord actually meets Kitty Pryde for the first time in Battle World, and Peter had a recollection of what was going on in the universe. He realizes that this is not his Marvel universe. The character interactions here between all characters were great. Star-Lord was awesome. Kitty Pryde was gorgeous. They threw in a lot of nods to the character when it came to her cosmic identity that she developed in and Black Vortex, and Gambit was very much in character here as well. So if you guys want to see this get nominated for Comic of the Year or get its nomination, again guys, please vote now. Again, that's Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde issue number 1. Next on the list, everybody, is another Secret Wars type of book, and this was Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra. Now, I remember when I was talking about this book, I was raving about this book, and this was a one-shot story that I felt could deserve an actual ongoing story, as we get to see Hank Johnson deal with the everyday life of being a father, a husband, and yes, a Hydra agent. His best friend works for S.H.I.E.L.D. He goes to softball games. He goes to birthday parties with his kids. This was a great and a hilarious story, and if you're a father, you can truly relate to this character. This was an awesome book, and I would love to see a follow-up to this. So if you guys want to see this one get nominated, guys, please go ahead, put your votes now. Alright, and last but not least for this week's grouping goes to a strong one, a strong book this week, and it goes to The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows issue number 1. Now, I know a lot of people were weary of this at first on what this story was going to offer to its fans, but we all realized that after we read this first issue this year, we remembered that this was the story that Dan Slott was born to write for Spider-Man. It looked like he was given everything on the table to write about Spider-Man. We get to see the reemergence of Eddie Brock Venom for the first time in years in this book. We got to see his daughter. We get to see Mary Jane. We get to see Peter at all his glory here. And this wasn't the only issue that was on top of its game here. So, if you guys want to vote for this one, please vote now. Pretty cool back cover there too as well. So there you have it, guys. There is the first grouping for Road to Comic of the Year. Just to give you a quick recap on the books that you can vote for. Again, it was Green Lantern issue number 38, The Walking Dead issue 143, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 16.1, Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde issue number 1, Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra, issue 1, and The Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows, issue number 1. So again, guys, please put your votes down below. Every vote counts. And guys, stay tuned next either Monday or Tuesday, depending on what day, and for grouping number 2 and the results of grouping number 1. So again, fans, thank you for all your votes, and thank you for your support. Until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, fans. Bye.